It's a beautiful bacon day, Cookie Crusaders. Today we're going to talk about the ancient cookies, what happened to them, and why they're not as used right now in the arena and PvP modes, and honestly most other game modes. So if we look at the base stats here, we're going to be comparing meta cookies to our ancient cookies and see kind of some of the differences. We're not actually even going to look at skill at the moment, just because we can see it from base stats what some of the differences are. So if we look at Hollyberry, we've got a little over 320,000 HP. We've got about 32,000 attack and 136,000 defense. That's pretty good to start. But then we go over to Financier Cookie, which is a very high meta cookie. We've got nearly almost 400,000 HP. A little lower defense with 113,000, but a higher attack by almost 10,000 at 41,000. So just looking at this base here, though defense can make a big difference in concordance with damage resistance and critical resistance, having a lower defense does not make a big enough difference to put Hollyberry above Financier Cookie. Now, of course, the skills make a big difference because Hollyberry siphons damage from the other cookies, so technically gets hit faster and more often, where Financier self-heals as well with the shield. So there's some very key differences there that just really do set apart their overall skill capacities. Now, I'll talk about a little bit more of this in a moment. If we go to, let's look at Dark Cacao Cookie. We've got a base of almost 300,000 HP, a 51,000 attack, and 89,000 defense. If we go to our new cookie, Schwartz, and we look at the base stats here by removing these toppings, we have almost 292,000, so very similar health. We have 53,000 attack, and we have 104,000 defense. So just by base stats, you can see that there is a difference here. And the main difference, the biggest difference, is the stars right here. The ascensions, the promotions. So, my thoughts are this. I think that when the cookies all went to 1A, 2A, 3A, and so on, at first, it wasn't really a big deal. At first, it was not, let's look at which cookies have the most power and which cookies can outclass others. The Ancients still had a pretty good chance back then because everyone was just starting fresh of the Ascensions past 5-star, and it really wasn't as widespread. So because of that, you could have 1 or 2 cookies at like 3-star, 4-star, and your Ancients still could keep up pretty easily. Now, what's different is it's been a few months. We've had enough time for people to start getting more cookies to those higher levels. I mean, you can see right here, like, the different ascensions I have of different cookies and how they highly outclass power levels of a lot of other cookies. And I'm only just starting to get the legendaries to match their power levels just because of those high ascensions. Same with, like, Oyster here. We got Oyster, who's at 357,000 power. If we ascend, we're going to get a small boost, but it's going to make a difference in the long run. So, what I think, and this is just my personal thoughts, I don't think that the ancient cookies and the legendaries necessarily lost their capabilities. I think that right now, they just can't catch up as easily as some of our epic cookies because of how hard it is to get them in gacha. So what I'm saying is, I think that if you could, hi Kitty. I think if you could run a full 5A Dark Cacao or 5A Hollyberry, I think that they would stand a much better chance in the PvP arena and some of the other game modes than the current epic cookies that are in the meta so heavily. Now, someone like ND Runner, one of the channels that is prolific about having almost every cookie completely maxed out, I'm sure that they could prove or disprove this theory because they do have the resources and the materials to have the cookies at that high of level. Yes, hi, how you doing? Um, and so that is a potential, but my biggest thoughts are the ancient cookies will likely make a comeback when we can all get them to about a 3A or higher ascension. Right now, if you don't have them above 2A, I don't think that they're on the same competing level as some of the other epic cookies. I mean, even right now, if you look at this, if we just take a bare power level comparison, 219,000 power for dark cacao, and then if we look at oyster, 251,000. 40k more power, just being two promotions higher than what dark cacao is right now. I mean, that makes a difference. That really does. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. If you're like losing faith or losing hope on the ancients being good cookies for you, if you're like, why aren't they in the meta right now? When can I use them again? Get them promoted. It's gonna take time. It takes a long time to get them. As you can see, myself, a paid player, still having issues getting them overall leveled because my luck is not perfect in the gacha, and so I'm not able to push them higher like I want to, like some other players can. So I think they will make a pretty tremendous comeback once we can get those ascended to that higher level. But that's assuming that they don't change ascensions again. If they add level 80 cookies or they add, 15-star ascensions or something weird like that, that could just further expand the gap of when ancients are completely playable in the arenas and other match modes again. They still have their utilities. They're still great cookies, but they are a little outclassed right now because of those power gaps from super epics and other epic cookies that are currently out and currently in the meta and pretty cemented in their power levels too. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Do you think that they'll make some comebacks just based on specific teams and abilities, or do you think that until you have a 3-star or 3A, 4A, 5A ancient cookie that you won't be able to play them until that point? What are your thoughts? Thank you and have a wonderful day.